Depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest in things and activities you once enjoyed. Depression is not only for the poor, even the rich, celebrities, public figures have their share of pain, and it is not gender based either. It can impact anybody regardless of gender, race or age, but some groups do experience depression at higher rates than others. The World Health Organization WHO estimate that 264 million people worldwide live with depression. I have joining me today in my corner a certified mental health advocate, Ambassador Blessing Obaniyi. Blessing Obaniyi wears multiple caps. I'll just mention a few here. She's a prolific writer and singer, marriage counselor, a compare, and a content creator, to mention but a few. Welcome and thank you for joining me, Ambassador Blessing Obaniyi.
Thank you so much for having me on
It's
your
been ages.
program today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, everyone is there here and there, busy doing things, just to catch up.
Exactly.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Right. So let's get down to the brass tack. Not until recently, a lot of persons were shying away from reporting or talking about depression. Why do you think that was so?
Yeah, it was so because of some certain factors that people were actually running away from. I want to use not just Nigeria, Africa as a case study. One of the factors is ignorance. People were ignorant about what depression really means, how it impacts on people. All they believed on was depression. Oh no, when they see someone exhibiting the symptoms of depression, they conclude, and what do they say? This one is possessed. This is an ogbanje. This one is mad. Just that name, madness. The name madness is used to refer to psychotic depression. They use it for every form of mental illnesses. One of it I said is ignorance. They never knew what it was. They never knew the symptoms. They never knew what extent it can go with people. Number two, stigmatization. They were running away from it because once you tell anyone about, for instance, if you have a sister that is exhibiting the symptoms of depression, and you go to someone and like, please, my sister isn't doing fine. She can't coordinate. She can't, a whole lot of these symptoms. And the person will go like, wow, it's a banje. Take her to the forest. Yes. Take her to the forest before people will get to know about it. And do you know what? Then, if they get to know about it, they stack her a witch. Him or her a witch. The next thing is to throw such person into the forest. The evil forest, because they believe that it is witch hunting, yet possession, the person is possessed. And sometimes they like, it's Ogwego. You know what it means, Ogwego? But when I say Ogwego, the Igbo language, in Nigeria, Igbo is a tribe in Nigeria. They were like, oh, the person tried money rituals and it didn't work, so it's now getting back at him or her, and that is why he's behaving this way. I'm not underestimating this spiritual path, but I want to say here that depression is a medical case that could be handled. And why everywhere you hear about mental health, people are we have come to the understanding that, look, this thing is not what we believed it to be. It is a medical condition that can be handled. A lot of people are suffering because of ignorance, and so we're on our toes, sensitizing people, educating people on these mental illnesses that could integrate families, and the impact on people is really not a good one. So we're trying to stop it. We're trying to stop that stigma, because even up till now, you can believe me that there are some people who still have not heard that depression is a medical case, not a spiritual attack or witch hunting or whatever we used to believe.
But are there different types of depression?
Yes, we have different types of depression. We have about 7 types of depression, and they are named according to the symptoms, according to how it impacts on people. It impacts on people differently. The way it impacts on me might not be exactly the way it impacts on you. So let's get back to the names. We have major depressive disorder that comes with sadness, hopelessness, loss of interest.
That's the highest of it.
Yes, that's the yes. And then we have a bipolar disorder, the type that comes with mood swing. Some point you're very happy, the next minute you are crying without a reason. The other time you're jumping up, you're playing, and the other time you're isolated. You just tell them, look, I don't want to see anybody. I want to be alone. Can't you understand? What do you want us to understand, for God's sake? At some point you want to eat, the other time, no, I don't want. Just take that thing away. I don't want to eat. So we also have prenatal and postpartum disorder. This is before, during, and after childbirth. I have a friend whose mother lost her consciousness, her control. What depression does, it takes over the control of your mind and its functioning. So during this labor, a lot of women go into depression. And do you know what they do in those days? When a woman exhibits that, they take the woman, they just drag the woman into the forest. Like this one is mommy water, yes, has lost it. So, and the child might be killed. That the child is an evil child. Now, there's this coping mechanisms that we all have, but at different levels. My level might be higher, my coping mechanism level might be higher than yours. And so we might be going through the same problem, the same challenges, and I'm fine. I'm just going away and going about my normal duties, and you are down there depressed. So these women, when they go into labor, they are overwhelmed with this pain, and so it gets into them and they lose their minds. That is a postpartum. We also have premenstrual disorder. A lot of girls have problems menstruating. Some, it comes with excruciating pain. And so before that time, they are anxious, they are sad, they are like, oh, I had a friend in secondary school, when she's menstruating 1 week, she won't come to school because it comes with so much pain. So another one is psychotic. Psychotic depression is a very severe one. It's the one that comes with illusion, believing what is not real, believing that they are hearing voices. You see, some people will say, did you call me? They come. Did you call me? Say, no, I didn't call you. Go back. They go back. After some time, they come back. Did you call me? It could be traces. It could be traceable to depression, psychotic. Then illusion, hearing voices, seeing things that are not real, feeling touches. And that is why you see people on the street say, oh, I'll box you. I'll box you. Are you talking to me? That is illusions. They are just hallucinating. There's nothing there. And we have seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal. There's some people that sometimes in summer they are okay, in winter they are not okay. Some people say, I don't know what is wrong with this person. Every rainy season, this thing comes on him or her. That's seasonal defective depression.
Can you tell us the causes of depression?
There are so many causes of depression. I would mention but a few because of time. One of the causes could be brain chemistry. In the brain we have what we call serotonin. And serotonin is a neurotransmitter. They transmit information to the brain. Some people have it low. If you have it on the low side, it affects you. If you have it too high, if your serotonin level is too high, it affects the person. If it is too low, it affects the person. So if you have an imbalance of this serotonin, you will definitely have depression. As to causing depression, childhood trauma. For instance, a lady that was raped as a child grows up with that, they always put fear in them. threatening them, if you dare tell anybody, I'm going to kill you. So they live with that threat that, oh, so life is like this. So is that easy to take someone's life? They put so much fear in them that they live on with that thing. Most of them get withdrawn from the society. You see them, they are just there. But they are not able to say it because somebody has placed a threat. Then some children grow up from a very toxic environment, toxic family. For example, in Africa, polygamy, even if some people say, some men claim to love all the wives equally, it's not possible. That's just a claim. It's not possible. They will be the man's favorite, and that favorite will receive more favors, including her children. And some of the children will be abandoned. Children who grow from this scenario, from this environment, its impact on them. Like somebody was telling me, my husband is not romantic. He doesn't even discuss with me. He's too straightforward. I really don't know why. I asked him one day, I said, sir, why is it that you are just too straightforward? You are a one-way traffic, And he said, well, she grew up from a very favorable environment. I grew up from a toxic environment. I was the only child my mom had for my dad. And the others had their mothers in the house. I was the only one without a mother, without a sister, without a brother. And so I was the outcast. When food is ready, mine will be as little as a baby, that of a baby, while others are enjoying. And my dad never did anything about it. He didn't do anything about it. I was just there. When they are dressing up, they buy clothing for them. The cheapest one that is almost like a rack will be mine. So, and every time they gang up against me, they beat me up with no reason attached. He grew up where love was missing. That the wife shouldn't expect him to become that romantic overnight. That he's just trying. He's trying. So I was able to talk to the wife. You just have to bear with him for now, and then show him that love that he never had. So any child that grows up from a toxic environment is liable to be depressed. Another factor is genetics. If you are from a family where 1, 2, 3, 4 people are often depressed, you might likely to be depressed. We have another factor that can trigger depression. That is medical condition. For instance, people who are suffering terminal diseases. From the moment they are told, look, you have HIV/AIDS, they are withdrawn. They don't want to do anything. Some of them wouldn't even want to clean up themselves by taking their bath or something. They don't even want to eat anymore. They are just there. Before you know, they are depressed. Substance use, very important. Substance use. Some people will say, look, I just want to forget my challenges. I want to forget all the suffering, all the things I'm going through, and so they go taking substance. You are worsening the case because you still regain consciousness to meet it, and some of them don't even regain themselves because they must have lost their mind. They will lose their minds along the line.
So what's the difference between depression and anxiety?
The difference between depression and anxiety is just characterized by the way they impact their symptoms. Depression comes with sadness, hopelessness, loss of interest. Anxiety comes with nervousness, fear. You are so afraid of something. You don't want to come out. You are so afraid of taking a risk. You are so nervous. You are thinking of what will happen. What's going to happen. So at some point, your heart is palpitating, beating so hard, and even sweating. There's something I must register. All the symptoms that I did mention earlier, they are arrowheads pointing at depression. But one cannot say in conclusion that this person is depressed because of these symptoms until a clinical diagnosis is done and the person is declared depressed. So depression is totally different from anxiety, but the two are like, let me put it in a lay language. They are brothers and sisters or twin brothers, with different names. Depression can cause anxiety, and anxiety can cause depression.
All right. So, what impact can depression have on a person's way of life, lifestyle generally?
I would start by saying that depression has negative impact on individuals. Now, because it takes hold of your mind, it controls your mind and its function. You tend to lose your mind. You tend to lose your concentration. You tend to lose your focus. It affects the way you think. It affects the way you feel. It affects the way you relate with others. And it leads to unproductiveness. You cannot be productive when you are depressed because you can't do things right. Somebody was asking me, how does it affect the family? Because it's about an individual here. How does it affect the family? Yes, the family members are affected because they begin to put the blame on themselves like, oh, if we had done this, if we had done that. If you have somebody who is depressed, especially severe depression, you know you won't go to work because you have to be taking care of that person. I do tell them that somebody that commits suicide, he didn't just think about it that time. He must have attempted suicide several times without success. But that very last one succeeded. And he must have been saying it. You hear some people say, I'm tired of this life. I just want to get away. I'm tired. If you hear people talk like that, if you hear anybody talk like that, please don't take it lightly. That person needs help. So it's always good to tell somebody, talk to somebody about your feelings. It could be a little thing that the person will just do and boom, you're out of it.
Statistics show that women are likely to have depression or to be depressed as twice compared to their male counterparts. Many persons have also attributed this to marital instability and the likes. Do you also share this quote?
Of course, yes. One of the causes of depression is hormonal changes. I know women, at some point your estrogen is being released, some point is progesterone. When a woman is pregnant, there are some hormones that are secreted into the body that makes her feel something different from what you used to know her. When a woman is menstruating, the same thing makes women more depressed than men. Naturally, men are strong on the inside. They are stronger than women, though there are few women that are strong as men on the inside. I'm talking about how to cope with challenges of life. Men have a better chance because they are stronger on the inside. Just like you said, marital problems. Thank God for now that African women are well informed now. Unlike then, when women were seen as second-class citizens, men will be talking and a woman is not supposed to talk. A woman is reduced to the room. A woman is not supposed to walk. A woman is supposed to be just there, don't talk. And you do as I say. And so everything, all these things get into the woman and she keeps asking herself, suppressing herself. She doesn't have a say, she doesn't have a voice. And so she keeps asking herself, am I really a normal human being? Is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with being a woman? So all of this put together makes women more depressed than men.
Right. So what advice do you have for women to be able to put themselves together in the face of anything, any challenges at all?
Yes, women should speak out. Don't be subjected. You are a normal human being. Nothing is wrong by coming out as a female. You have 100% right to do whatever a man is doing. That does not mean that I am encouraging disrespect to you, especially those who are married, or failure to submit. Some men are so audacious that they want you to just be there. The only thing they want from you is yes sir, yes sir. So women have to come out. I'm not saying you start rubbing shoulders with your husband. No, but just come out, speak out, have a voice.
All right. You know, I told you earlier on that Ambassador Blessing is one in all. You know, she has so many caps to her feather. And one of it is she is a pastor. And so that's why she's bringing that. And she's also an author. She authored this book, which is powerful tips to overcome depression, gain victory over depression for productivity, and live a happy life. Written by Ambassador Blessing Obani. So you can look out for this. How can we get this book? How can one get this
Okay,
book?
it's online. Then the hard copies too. It's in the process. The ones we printed before have been exhausted, so we're trying to make mass production, even for those who cannot, who don't have the means to afford it, so that it will be given to them freely.
Any advice for generally for anybody in a depressive state?
They should confide in somebody. Tell somebody your feelings. You might not be depressed now, but because of what you're going through, what we call tough times or unpleasant situations, you might be on your way to depression. If you don't tell anyone about it, you will find yourself depressed.
All right, thank you so much. The hammering or the thrust of this conversation is speak out.
Speak
And
out.
don't just speak out, don't just tell your challenges to somebody, say it. Visit a professional. You know, depression kills and it is real. And also, I would like to add my own voice that you should guard your heart and soul for the rest of your life journey. Life is too short. Be careful who you talk to and what you absorb, what you take inside of you. Thank you so much for joining me again, Ambassador Blessing Obani. Thank you. So it's bye from me. See you again on Toss's Corner.